Hello again, fellow friends, and welcome back to this, me going through some pictures that I took on San Andreas. So as you may or may not know, I got the Platinum on GTA 3 this year. After much hassle, I basically got 100% on it, and then it glitched and I wasn't able to get all the trophies, so I had to restart. So I did restart and I got to the end again, and then I had a different glitch hit me, which meant I couldn't get 100%. So I put the game down for a couple of years, and then at the tail end of 2018, picked it back up, got the Platinum. And then I went through Vice City earlier this year, got the Platinum. But all the way through Vice City, I was like, man, I wish I was playing San Andreas, because I love Vice City, but goddamn, San Andreas is good. So I Platinum Vice City. Then I went on to San Andreas, and oh my god, I forgot how much better than Vice City it was. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've always held San Andreas in the highest of regards. It was my second favourite game for a long time. For a very long time. But when I played through this year, this was the first time I'd played the game and made it out of Los Santos in probably over 10 years. Because I've played San Andreas in the last 10 years. You know, I played it on my phone and on... I think I played an Xbox 360 version. But I never got out of Los Santos. Like, I would start the game and then not get very far. But this time, you know, it's on PlayStation, I want to get the Platinum, so I thought, I'm going to do a full playthrough and really enjoy the game. And I forgot so much that's in this game. And... I never used to take many pictures on the PS2 version because you're limited by how much space you have left on the memory card. And I thought to myself that I would have virtually unlimited space to take photographs because I've got a PS4 with a 1000 gigabyte hard drive instead of a PS2 memory card with 8 megabytes. But, pardon me, but it turns out that when you play San Andreas, it emulates a PS2 memory card just for that game. So I think there was room for 94 pictures, so I ended up having to delete a few pictures. By the time I got near the end of the game, I was like, okay, I need to delete some pictures, so, some of the ones that aren't so great, so I can take some more pictures. So some of the pictures are going to be out of order. It's going to seem like, I think there's some pictures that are from near the end of the game that you'll see fairly early on, so that explains that. And, like, I mean, there's so much that I forgot about the game. Did you remember that there's a riot at the end of San Andreas? I didn't remember until it happened, and I was like, oh my god, I forgot this happened, and the whole of Los Santos is just rioting. I totally forgot about that. There's so much about San Andreas I forgot, and hopefully these pictures will help to help you guys remember stuff that you've forgotten. So let's get some appropriate music, shall we? Okay, I hope that's not too loud. So, pictures, okay? Let me just zoom in, yes, and then it should stay like that. Yep. Okay, cool. Just making sure everything's fine. This is a new picture viewing program that I'm using. Okay, so picture the first. So this is obviously the Energy 500, and throughout this video, I'm going to say the first time a lot. And when I say that, I don't mean my first time ever. I mean the first time on this playthrough, okay? So this picture was taken the first time on this playthrough that I found the Energy 500. Because I obviously remembered that it's over at the docks in San Fierro, but I forgot that it's in a multi-story car park in Los Santos. And as soon as I remembered that, I was still at the beginning of the game. I was like, oh my god, I'm going to get the Energy 500 because it's awesome. Undoubtedly the best bike in the game. And everyone that has played the game must know this. Okay. Right, so this is a picture from the end of the game when Los Santos is rioting and you're helping Caesar and his homies take back his crew. And I believe they're the Varios Aztecas or something. His group is the Aztecas because it's... Yeah, the Ballers and the Vargos are the bad guys and the Aztecas are okay. I thought I'd take this picture because I didn't actually have a picture of Caesar yet, and I thought, you know, I want to get a picture of Caesar. I don't think I've got a picture of Woozy, or even Officer Tenpenny, but they don't give you really much of a choice to get a picture of Tenpenny. Anyway, thought this was a kind of a cool pic, you know, the guy on the left and the guy in the middle right are blatantly the same person, but yeah, we can get over that. So yeah. Just wanted to get some pictures that reminded me of cool moments from the game so that I can look back on this 10 years from now and not have to play through the whole game to remember some crazy, crazy things. Like this wheelchair. I forgot there was a wheelchair here. In fact, I must have known at some point. But I found this place where... I can't remember the name of the little town this is in, but it's in the tiny little rural town just northeast of Los Santos. And there's a little jetty that goes out onto the water. And there's this wheelchair, and I googled it, and it's known as a mystery amongst the fans, because no one knows what it is in reference to or why it's there. Some people think it might be Texas Chainsaw Massacre related. I don't know. One thing I did notice though was, I believe, I might be making this up actually. It might just be a fake memory, but I believe there's a bit where you see Johnny Sindacco late in the game when you're in Las Venturas after you've had him tied to the hood of your car and you're just like bombing it down the road. When you meet him again after he's been to hospital, he's in a wheelchair, and I think he's in that wheelchair. Anyway, next. Okay, this is during the riots as well. Near the end of the game, I realised, wait, I haven't taken a picture of my favourite cars. And I've got 5 favourite cars. I can't decide which is my favourite. And if I had to narrow it down, I could only narrow it down to 2, because I cannot decide. So, of the 5 of my favourite cars, the Buffalo is one of them. You all know the Buffalo. It handles well, it doesn't spin out too much, it's got some good speed. The brakes aren't garbage, like one of my other favourite cars. And it's got that awesome beastie sounding engine. I love the cars in this game that have that particular engine sound. So of course the Buffalo, love it. And of course I've got to have it green because Grove Street for life. For life, Holmes. And of course a Savannah. They give you a Savannah fairly early on in the game. I used it for the lowrider mission, and then I thought I was going to use it to take over territories. You know, I'd pick up 3 of my homies, and then we go take over territories. But I found out quite quickly that it's way easier for me to take over territories if I'm on my own, because if I'm on my own, my homies don't stand in front of me and get in my way and get shot. So once I did the mission where you get this car and you have to do the pimp dancing, whatever it's called, low riding dance competition, I shelved it in the garage of that house that you can see in the background there with the yellow. You can just see the yellow marker in front of the door. The picture quality of these pictures is garbage, right? And this isn't like... This wasn't a problem with the file transfer. This is just the quality of picture that comes out, because I guess the PS2 was like... I mean, I was playing it on PS4, but obviously it's running on an emulated PS2. And it's like, you know, I can't really save pictures of high quality because I'm from the year 2000. So they are pretty garbage quality. This one came out really dark as well. I actually had to lighten it and increase the contrast. It was really dark for some reason. But yeah, I do like the Savannah. Classic. I saw a ladder. You might think it's not out of the ordinary, but it actually is, because as far as I know, it's the only one in the game. And it's not like... It's not an asset that they put up against that that telegraph pole. It is part of the scenery. Like, if you hit it, it won't move. It is just straight up part of the scenery, sticking out into the middle of the road. I was riding along, and I just went, huh, neat, and I just snapped a pic. So there's that. I did take a bunch of pictures like this where the sun was rising or the sun was setting, and I was like, god damn, I thought Vice City had some beautiful sunsets. And this game just goes, no, I'm way better, don't you remember? Way better than Vice City, in every way except the music. I think the music is the only area where this game doesn't shit all over Vice City. Oh my god. I went back to play a bit of Vice City after playing this, because I needed, there was one, it's really long story, I'm not going to give it, but I needed to get one more trophy for the Platinum, and it was taking long. So after I got all the trophies except for one on San Andreas. Then I went back to Vice City and I worked hard to get that last trophy. Then I got the last trophy in San Andreas because I wanted the Platinums to be in order on my trophy list. So I went back to Vice City after playing this, and oh god, it felt like cheap shit. It was so bad. San Andreas is where it's at, boys, I'm telling you. So of course there's me, stood next to a Banshee, one of my other 5 favourite cars. Let's see, what are they? Banshee, Buffalo, Infernus, Turismo, and Bullet. Those are my 5 favourites. Basically all the supercars, minus the Super GT and the Comet and the ZR350 and the Cheetah. So most of the supercars. Anyway, nice sunset. Classic pimp CJ. I took this picture because I went to... I dated Denise to max level, and I got the pimp suit, and I thought, I'm going to wear this for a while. And then I went and did the pimp missions, and I thought, wait, if I'm going to do the pimp missions, I need to be ridiculous and look like a pimp. And of course, I don't know if any pimps do look like this, but oh my god, I'm just noticing. Look at CJ's neck while he's taking this picture. It's like he's got some sort of weird hump. It's crazy, but that's what CJ looked like for a while during my playthrough. Big blonde afro. Because why not? Oh, the Infernus. Oh, it's so beautiful. I love it. I've always loved the Honda NSX, and I've always loved the Infernus in GTA games, and weirdly, the Infernus is usually a Lamborghini, but in this game it's a Honda NSX. Completely random, but it's an NSX, and it looks good, and it's got that awesome sound. It's got the awesome engine sound that the Bullet... No, not the Bullet. The Banshee No, not the Banshee. I'll get it right eventually. That the Buffalo has, because the Bullet has a unique engine sound. No other car sounds like it, as far as I know. And the Banshee has that common supercar sound, the one that's like, it's not bassy. It kind of sounds light, and I'm not really a fan of it. But this car has the bassy engine sound. It's awesome. And then boom, the Bullet. Oh my god, I forgot the Bullet was in this game. I remembered the Infernus was in this game, but I forgot the Bullet was in this game. And let me tell you something about the Bullet. This is how much I forgot it was in this game. I thought the Bullet was introduced in the Ballad of Gay Tony DLC for GTA 4. Because I remember getting that DLC and the Bullet was there, and I was like, oh, this is a new car to the franchise. That's what I thought. You know, based on the Ford GT. And in GTA 5, the Bullet is my favourite car. Just outright my favourite in GTA 5. So I drove it a lot. So you can imagine my surprise. When I was doing the driving school in San Andreas in San Fierro, and I was getting all gold, of course, because you know you got to get all gold. And the silver prize is a Bullet, and it parks it outside. And I was like, oh my god, I forgot the Bullet was in here. So of course I had to paint it green, drive it over to Los Santos, and you know, give it a white stripe as well. Classic. I love that car. And like I say, it's got a unique engine sound. It's so good looking. I love it. These two are the two that I've whittled my list down to. No, I lie. No, that's a lie, because there's a third one. Fuck! Okay, there's 5. Yeah, look, I got 5 favourites. I can't decide. I can't decide. Bobo! Do you remember Bobo? Some of you probably do, and some of you are probably sat there going, Bobo. Bobo, this is, as far as I know, this is the only reference to Bobo in San Andreas, and I don't think he was referenced in Vice City, but in GTA 3, you might recall, which weirdly is set years after this, there's a radio advert for a game, Bobo the Monkey, and it's like, you know, da-da, well done, Bobo, have a gold coin. And then Bobo's like killing the scientists that were experimenting on him, and it goes, da-da, well done, Bobo, you get a new car, and all of that shit. I saw this and I was like, it's Bobo the Monkey from the advert from 2 games ago. Awesome, classic, gotta snap it. Took a picture. This one is a bit personal. I have a friend whose nickname is Stav, and I was just stood here looking around, and I looked over there, and that clearly says Gustavs, but because some of the tree is hiding it, it just says Stavs, and I was like, hey look, Stavs, I got a friend called Stav, I'm gonna take a picture of that. So, true story. I had to take a picture of this guy because I hadn't seen him before. Not only does he keep out, God is playing with us, and God is playing with us is in the Price Down font, which as we all know is the GTA font, as well as the Price is Right font. And I don't know if that's just meant to be a crazy guy, or if it's like a guy that's aware that he's in a game, and the player is God. Who knows? I just saw that and I thought, that's pretty funky, taking a picture of that. I thought this was just a nice composition. Riding my bike in Chinatown in San Fierro, and I saw this street down here, and I remember the street because there's a stunt jump at the bottom there on the left. But I just parked and I thought, this is a nice little street. I'm gonna take a picture, you know. Got some nice composition there. I forgot there was a submarine in this game. Did you remember there was a submarine in this game? It's actually one of the 50 snapshot locations you have to take in San Fierro, as because this is something I forgot as well. I knew Los Santos had the 100 spray tags that you got to spray over, and I knew that Las Venturas had horseshoes, but I couldn't remember what San Fierro had as a collectible, and then I played it and remembered. It's the 50 photo opportunities, and this is one of them, so I had to take a picture of this. Like, I literally had to if I wanted 100%, but I saved the picture because it's a fucking submarine. And of course, look at this. I had to get this because I knew this. I had this back in the day. The Sultan is in this game, and I remember the Sultan was in this game because, like, the Sultan was in. There was a Sultan RS in GTA 4. That's what I first became aware of, like, how awesome Sultans were. I mean, in this game, yeah, you can spray it and make it look like an Impreza and stuff, but in the Sultan RS in GTA 4. Is a cross between an Impreza and an Evo, and it is just rapid. I think it's the fastest accelerating car in the game, and there's one place where you can get it. So it stuck with me from there onwards, And then in GTA 5, they released the Sultan, and you can mod it, like in GTA Online and stuff. And I was thinking, where's the Sultan RS? And then they released Benny's Auto Mod Shop, where you could upgrade it to the Sultan RS. So that was awesome. But this is the Sultan from San Andreas, and I believe it was the... I don't think there was a Sultan in the series before this. And you can take it to a specific mod shop, where you can mod this, and the Elegy, and something else, and you can make it, obviously, look like an Impreza. So when I saw this paint job, I thought, gotta paint it like an Impreza. It's a shame I can't give it gold wheels, but there we go. Took a picture of this art installation as I was running around. What was I doing? I think I was just looking for... I think this was in Wait, was it in Los Santos or San Fierro? I don't know anymore. I think it was in San Fierro, but it was just like an art installation inside this open courtyard of a building, and I thought, that's pretty neat. Snap. Had to take a picture of this, I was going to say aircraft carrier. I guess it is technically an aircraft carrier. It's more like a battleship. And yes, I did get 5 stars when I went in there to take a picture of this. And yes, those cops were shooting at me. I actually came here to pick up a Patriot for the import-export list. And while I was here, I thought, well, you know, I got 5 stars, but whatever. There's a big ship there. I'm gonna take a picture. So I did. The Banshee, of course. So we've seen the Buffalo, we've seen the Bullet, we've seen the Infernus. Now here's the Banshee. This is the 4 out of the 5 my favorite cars in the game. Green with a white stripe, just as I gave it back in the day in like 2004-5 when I first played the game. And I kept that tradition going. When I got the Banshee in GTA 5 and GTA Online, I painted it green with a white stripe because classic references to classic games. That's why. And it looks awesome. And it's rapid. It's pretty loose handling. The car feels really light, and you can easily spin out. It definitely doesn't feel like it's glued to the road like the Bullet does, or even the Infernus. But this is just a rapid car, and I like it. I've always liked the Banshee. Even before it was called the Banshee, in GTA 1 when it was called the Beast GTS, the Dodge Viper, I always loved it. Awesome. Had to snap a picture up here because, of course, I have many fond memories of going up on top of this bridge with a superbike. So, of course, when I unlocked San Fierro, I was like, well, I'm going to get my superbike, and I'm going to go up to the bridge. Now, this was actually, I think this was when I unlocked Las Venturas, because if you go down onto the road and then drive up and follow the road, you'll be over in Las Venturas area, countryside, and behind me in this picture is San Fierro. But yeah, I went up there, took this picture. Fun fact, shortly after I took this picture, I went to ride down the suspension cable, but of course I fell off and went in the water, and then I had to swim, and it was a whole thing. So there's that. I forgot that this was in the game until right at the end when the riot was happening. In fact, it's literally the very last mission, when you have to infiltrate spoilers, of course, when you have to infiltrate Big Smoke's crack house and kill the fuck out of him. I saw this. In fact, you need this as part of the mission, because you need it to ram through a wall. And when I saw this, I was like, oh, I forgot this was in the game. Snappage. Took a picture. It's a shame it's only got a water cannon on the front, but oh well. This is that same bridge that we just saw, except now obviously on the ground level and looking towards San Fierro. There's that that tall building on the right, the tall pointed building. I can't remember what it's called. But there's signs all on the ground level that say like no base jumping, and you can go in through the doorway and it takes you right up to the top and you can just base jump, which is pretty cool. And I was just riding along the bridge and I saw that picture and I thought that's a nice establishing shot of San Fierro, so I snapped it. This is mate, I forgot. I love the Las Venturas and Las Venturas countryside area of this game so much. It's easily my favorite. I always thought my favourite was Los Santos, because I remember it the most fondly, but I forgot. Nighttime in the Las Venturas countryside, it's always got this purple haze, and it looks eerie and beautiful. I love it. This is obviously the airstrip, because, of course, the classic airstrip that you end up buying from Torino, voiced by the legend James Woods. So when I got here, I was like, oh man, I remember just saving my game at the airfield, and then going to get the Hydra, and then going on a rampage with the Hydra, and then dying, reload it, go and get the Hydra, go on a rampage, all that business. So I got lots of memories at the airfield, so I snapped a picture. Again, this is just some nice sunset action. It might be sunrise, I'm not entirely sure. I was riding along the freeway. Looks like if I had to hazard a guess, I would say I was heading from Las Venturas to San Fierro. And yeah, I just saw that beautiful sun, and I was like, stop and take a picture. This is the wood cabin type mansion that Torino is based in. So when you do missions for Torino, before you get to the airfield, this is where you go. And I forgot this was even a thing, that you do missions here with Torino before you get to the airfield. So I was like, oh, you know, I forgot about this. Let's take a picture. Of course, the Maze Bank Tower, or whatever the hell it's called in this game, I don't know. But I know it as the Maze Bank Tower from GTA 5. Because, you know, it's the tallest building in the game. I'm not sure about this game, but it's the tallest building in GTA 5. And I had an office there, so yeah. The Maze Bank Tower, it was always like a probably the most known and noticeable building in the whole of GTA 5 for me. So when I saw it in this game, I was like, I forgot that's in here, and there's a parachute on top and everything. You can even go through. You can go through the door at the bottom with a bike, and it'll take the bike up to the roof, and it's just like, yeah, that's a cool building, and that's not a bad shot. So I thought, I'm a snap. Cowboy guy in Las Venturas. Now, basically, when I got to Las Venturas, you have to understand, this was the first time I'd been in Las Venturas for over 10 years, and it was nostalgia overload. I was basically a tourist. This is when I got my camera out, and I started taking a lot of pictures. I was taking pictures of just everything, basically. So, of course, there's the neon sign of the cowboy dude. He looks like Tex Avery, actually. No, is that his name? Avery Carrington? The guy from Vice City, voiced by Burt Reynolds. He wants you to... He's the guy that gives you that mission that everyone hates, where you have to use that tiny little remote helicopter and drop bombs and stuff. I believe that's him, but it might not be. Casino! I believe that's a Starfish Casino. I just thought that was pretty cool. Nice neon lights, you know, especially after I spent so long in Los Santos, which is all sort of gang warfare, and then you go to San Fierro, and it's very much sort of like business orientated, and then you get to Las Venturas rather, and it's basically just like a theme park. I was like, take a picture. Candy Sucks, of course, classic reference. Candy Sucks is a character from Vice City, voiced by Jenna Jameson. And yeah, I saw this and I was like, I know that character. Take a picture. Black Elvis, because why not? I was just driving along and I was like, hey, that Elvis is black. Take a picture. He had some weird lines of dialogue as well. I can't remember what he said, but he had a funny Elvis accent. I remember that much. And this, I saw this because I may be tripping, right? But I don't recall seeing NPCs in GTA games interact before. Like, normally, even in GTA 5, you know, all the NPCs are just on their own, doing their own thing. Or maybe they'll be stood in a group talking or whatever. But if they're walking down the street, they're generally just on their own. I don't recall seeing NPCs doing group activities like this. Yeah, just holding hands, but still. They were interacting, and I was like, that's kind of new. I don't recall that. Snap! Mad Dog's recording studio, of course. I took this picture. See, now I don't know. Was this picture before I went to Los Santos? Because you go to his house twice, don't you? You steal his rhyme book. This was later in the game, I think. So early in the game, you steal Mad Dog's rhyme book, and this is where the rhyme book is, in this room. And then later on in the game, you befriend Mad Dog, prevent him from killing himself, become his manager. It sounds all weird. Like, this is all stuff that I forgot until I played it recently. You stop him from committing suicide, befriend him, become his manager, go back to his house and remove the criminal element that had moved in, and then you get him to start recording music again, and I took a picture. And yeah, that was the thing. Statue of Big Smoke. Now, at first, I was a bit upset, because I was like, why is he not wearing green? But then I was like, actually, good. Fuck him. He doesn't deserve to wear green. Scum. Man, I love Big Smoke at the beginning of the game, but when you know like that he's a rat, it's like, god damn it, Big Smoke. Fuck's sake, you made me laugh at the beginning of the game. Now you're like the villain. Other than Tenpenny. How dare you? And of course, this statue is in Big Smoke's crack house. So this was on the way to capping his ass, which was like, I'm not gonna say it was hard, but he took a surprising amount of capping to go down, because he had body armor on, but I swear it's like he was wearing 10 of them. I just kept pumping shot after shot after shot into him. But he did die pretty easily, because by this point, you know, I had max skill on all the weapons, so I had the combat shotgun, which can fire like this, like boom, 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 and then he reloads. So I ended his game in not too long a fashion. Okay, back to Las Venturas. So this was, I don't know, I think that's the Visage? Yeah. This is an archway leading into the Visage casino, and I just like those colours, you know, the pastel sort of pinks and blues. It's very Vice, you know, and you know I like my Vice, so that's pretty cool. Starfish Casino, I took a picture of that because, you know, I'm just walking along and then I look left and that's what I see, and I'm like, that's pretty cool, neat. Snappage, because it's just like a big cube. The Starfish Cube, they should have called it, and you can't go in there, which sucks, but it looks pretty cool. The Clown's Pocket, I saw that and I was like, look, it's a good job I came here at nighttime, because if I'd arrived during daytime and all the lights were off, it would have been less cool and nostalgic. But all the neon lights were dazzling and everything, and I was like, cool. What does it say there? Karaoke, Friday night, Hula Girls Grill. What, are you going to grill Hula Girls? Happy hour. Anyway, there's Clown's Pocket. I took a picture of these lights because they just looked kind of cool, you know, red, white, and blue. These were the lights leading up to the entrance to the Clown's Pocket, I believe, or the lights in the car park. They looked pretty cool, so I took a picture. The Hydra, of course. I didn't take a picture of the Hydra at my airfield because this is the first Hydra you see in the game. Or at least, this is the first one you get to fly, because if you try to fly to the other cities when you're not allowed to, then you'll see Hydras. So yeah, I was on the... this was actually on that battleship that I took a picture of earlier. You have to come in. I can't remember how you get there. I think you swim in round the back, or you take a boat in, and then you work your way up to the deck, and then you just steal this Hydra. It's just sitting there waiting for you. And obviously the Hydra is awesome. This is a skull outside a casino or a ride. I'm not sure which. I believe it's a casino, and it's called Pirates in Dead Men's Pants. And I 100% forgot that was a thing until I started playing this game again, and I heard it on the radio. They were talking about the new show, Pirates in Dead Men's Pants, or whatever, and I was like, that's kind of weird. And then you get to Las Venturas, and there's a casino here of it, and that was one of the displays, I guess you could call it, out the front. And here's a sign for it. Prepare for a jolly rogering. Ha ha ha! They love their puns. Beautiful. Pirates in men's pants. I don't know why I said pirates in dead men's pants. I guess I'm mixing up some sort of Pirates of the Caribbean thing, which is weird, because I've only seen one of those films. But there we go. Pirates in men's pants. That was a cool picture. I saw the giant Washington penis thing, and then a Sphinx, and then obviously the Luxor Casino with the sun coming over the castle there on the right. And that castle is a place called Camelot, because their writers were very mature. Here's a better picture of the Sphinx. Pretty cool looking. Pretty cool looking. And I do like this Pyramid Casino. And yes, I ran up there to see what was up there, and there's a horseshoe up there, right at the top. Took a picture of that. What I should have done is come back at nighttime, because that was all lit up with flashing lights and stuff at nighttime. But I took a picture of it because I thought it looked cool, and then when I look back at it in these pictures, I'll remember that it was all lit up, and I'll be like, yeah, that did look cool. There's the sign for Camelot. It looks like Cove-a-lot in a way, but no, it's Camelot. Obviously a play on words of Camelot, because it's a castle. Now, the Four Dragons Casino, this is the one that you open with Woozy, and of course, you know, you do a lot of gambling here because there's a save point right outside. It's a beautiful thing. All the wonders of the Orient. And poker. The Four Dragons. See, does this look familiar? I'm not sure if it's next, but later on you'll see a picture of the interior, and it'll probably bring back nostalgia. If you haven't played this game for 10 years, all of these pictures in Las Venturas, I hope, are like flooding your brains with nostalgia. Flooding them. Of course, I am concerned that, like, most of you watching this might have been extremely young 10 years ago, so you may not have the memories, but oh well. Took a picture of this building as well, because it looked pretty funky, and I'm certain it's based on a building in real life in Las Vegas, but I didn't bother to research it. But it looked cool, so I took a picture. Oh, and this is the final car. See, if you put a gun to my head and said, see, I don't know. I was going to say, if you put a gun to my head and you said you could only drive one car in GTA, I don't know what it would be. I could probably stand to trim the Buffalo and the Banshee off, but I wouldn't be able to decide between the Turismo, the Infernus, and the Bullet. They're all awesome, because the Turismo has that sort of light car engine sound, like the Banshee, so I'm not really a fan of the engine sound, but goddamn, I love the look of it, because it's based on a Ferrari F40, and I love the Ferrari F40. It's awesome, and I forgot the Turismo was in this game, because I played the in GTA Online, I had a Turismo for the longest time, you know, and then I had a Turismo Classic, which was the Ferrari F40, and I remember thinking to myself, oh yeah, this is in GTA San Andreas, the Turismo Classic. But then I played through GTA 3 and GTA Vice City again, and then forgot all about the Turismo. And then when I got to Las Venturas and I saw one of these, I was like, oh my god, I forgot the Turismo was the thing. Taking it, and I took it all the way back to Los Santos, because you can't find them in Los Santos, so I figured that's where I might as well keep it. And this is, you know, you take over territories in Los Santos. I did it twice. Because the first time you do it, you have to take over 35% of the territories, and then you can move on with the quest. But I got 100% because Grove Street for life. So I did that, and I was driving, I think, my Buffalo at the time. But then, when I came back to Los Santos, you've got to take over the streets again. So I did, and I was using this. I was just showing up, kicking ass in my Turismo. It was awesome. I saw this doormat as well. Not welcome, Rockstar North. I thought, that's a bit weird. What's that all about? I googled it, and yeah, there's no hidden meaning or anything. It's just a thing, and I think this is the only place in the game where you can find it, and it's just outside the door. It's just outside the door to the boss fight with Big Smoke. So there's that. Clockety fuck. Right, I had to get a picture of the Clockenbell guys because back in the day I used to love it when you speak to him, and he'll say different things like cock-a-doodle cluck, what do you want, and stuff like that. But I always loved it when you just go up to speak to him and he goes clockety fuck. I was like, that's brilliant. So I had to take a picture of those guys. Another weird looking building in Las Venturas, undoubtedly based on, I'm sure, some real life building that looks very similar, with the Luxor in the background. A nice picture. I just wish they weren't garbage quality. Look at this. This is the most garbage quality picture out of the whole lot, I think. So you've got the Golden Gate Bridge, sorry, the Gant Bridge, and then like a tiny micro penis of a lighthouse. I don't know why that's so small, but that's like, I'm not really far away. That's just a tiny lighthouse. I don't know why it's so small. But yeah, this is where the boat school is. So if you know where the Gant Bridge is in the game, this is San Fierro's at the far end. As we're looking at now, San Fierro is at the other end, and this side is the top left corner of the map on this side of the bridge. That's where the boat school is, and I forgot there was a boat school in this game. And it's not too bad, actually. It's probably the easiest of the 4 schools to get all gold on. I saw this place as well. There was another place that looked just like it elsewhere, but I could only keep one of the pictures because I needed to get rid of one for room. So I took a picture of this one. Just a weird motel that's shaped like teepees for some reason. I don't know why it's shaped like teepees, but there it is. maybe there's like a Native American themed motel in the desert near Las Vegas. I don't know. Pardon me. The Smoking Beef Grill. Did you remember this was in the game? And you can tell roughly where it is because the sky is purple, so you know it's in the countryside around Las Venturas, because the countryside around San Fierro and Los Santos doesn't have purple skies. It's just got regular skies. There's a beautiful purple sky. The Smoking Beef Grill. The not the Hoover Dam. I mean, in real life it's the Hoover Dam, but what's it called in? I don't know what it's called in this game actually. The something dam. I know it's not the Cochrane Dam because the Cochrane Dam is in GTA 3. Anyway, it's a dam based on the Hoover Dam, and of course, it's a dam. You know, down to the right there. I think off camera, just to the right, you can find the what's it called? The skimmer. It's basically the dodo from Vice City, the one that can land on the water. And there's also one of those Sparrow, I think it's called, the helicopter that can land on water as well. Now this, let me tell you about this. I took this picture not knowing how genuinely fascinating this was going to turn out to be. Okay, so this is a monument on the dam. So as you're looking at the dam here, if you follow the dam to the left, it comes round and then there's a corner, and then you're back on the road, and then you go into the countryside. Well, just where the dam ends, where that corner is this monument, and you can see some flowers there. So if you wanted to pick up flowers for a girlfriend, there you go. But I saw these statues that looked like tuning forks, and I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. Take a picture, and thought nothing else of it. But when I was, what I had to do was I took all the pictures, and then yesterday I sat down and I hit record, and I went through the pictures, and then I had a video of me looking at the pictures, and then I went through that video and snapped each picture as its own screenshot, and then cropped it and everything. So that's what I had to do for this. And while I was doing that, I looked at this and I was like, yeah, what is that? There's no way that isn't based on a real world thing. There's no way. So I Googled it, right? And it's genuinely fascinating. So it's a monument that was built to commemorate the construction of the Hoover Dam, right? But what's interesting about it is the floor that you can't see here, but on the floor of the real thing, it's got a star system, and I can't remember the exact details, but it's set up in such a way so that anyone with, like, you know, a passable knowledge of astronomy, I always fucking get those wrong, fuck astrology, anyone with a passing knowledge of astronomy can look at this star system and figure out exactly when the dam was built, right? So it's built to stand the test of time. So say, like, you know, 14,000 years in the future, when English isn't a language. I mean, I'm pretty sure this fucking monument would still be here 14,000 years in the future, but it's something along the lines of, it was designed so that people, even if English dies out and no one can read the inscriptions that are on the tablet, they can look at the star chart and they can tell exactly when the dam was built. And I thought that was pretty cool. And I didn't know that when I took this picture. So there you go, just learned you something. Go Google that. Google Hoover Dam, and look at their tourist website, mate. It's actually pretty interesting. I saw their tourist website and I went, you know what? I want to go. If I ever go to Vegas, you know I'm going to the Hoover Dam. I think it's 30 miles east of Vegas or west. I don't know. It's not far from Vegas. Looks pretty good. Yes, this. I don't remember the name of this plane, but it's the biggest plane in the game. It's so big that you actually, as you can see, you actually have to drive up a ramp to a raised platform so that you can get to the door, because there's no other way to get in. And it's pretty big. This is in the giant hangar at the Las Venturas airport. I don't think it's there at first, and you have to wait ages for the door to come down. But when it comes down and this thing's in there, you're like, sweet. And then you get in it and you fly it, and then you realize, oh yeah, it's how you think it is. It's kind of slow and bulky, but it's just the biggest plane in the game, so I figured it was worthy of taking a picture and remembering it. And yes, in this picture, my back was up against the wall. I couldn't get more of the plane in frame if I tried. It's just so big. I didn't want to take a picture from outside the hangar, because I didn't want a picture of the back of the plane, and I couldn't move the plane and then take a picture, because how would I get back in? So I had to take a picture here. Now this, I stumbled across this. What was I doing? I think I was riding that bike, and I think I started falling down a hill or something, and I ended up here, and I was like, what the hell is this? Little hut with like a radio speaker station and stuff. I was like, what is this? And then like an hour later, I found out I was doing a mission for Mike Torino, and he has you zipping across the countryside, getting to various locations, and at each one there's a speaker system like this, and he's speaking to you, and the final stop is here. You have to, in fact, yeah, I think you have to shoot down some plane is going to make a delivery or something like that, and it drops this package, and you need to get it, and the package lands here. So that's what this was all about. But when I took the picture, I was like, what's this all about? So there we go. Down there in the background, you can't see it, but that's the sea, and just to the just behind the hut on the sea, there's one of those sparrows, the chopper that can go on the water, which is quite useful. Of course, right, I've always had a soft spot for V-shaped guitars. I just think they look so cool. And when you see a swimming pool that's shaped like a V-shaped guitar, when you're on top of another building, you're like, I ain't not going to take a picture of that, am I? It's got to be done. I think, no, I was going to say I think that's the V-Rock Hotel, but I'm probably talking out of my ass. There might not even be such a thing. Maybe the V-Rock Hotel is in Vice City. No, I think the V-Rock Hotel is in San Andreas. But V-Rock was a radio station from Vice City. I don't know. Either way, V-shaped guitar pool. And yes, there's a horseshoe and an oyster in that swimming pool. So there's that. Yes, this is a building. I'm sure we've all driven past it many times in Las Venturas. Say you're in Grove Street, right? And you're driving out of Grove Street, and you take the first right, and it goes up over that bridge, and then you're in Baller Country. If you go on about 20 meters, on your right, there's this building. And the reason why I took a picture of this is because, I don't know if you know this, but this is just a giant hidden package from Vice City. Because the Vice City hidden packages were idols that used this exact model. Like, this exact design and shape was the hidden packages in Vice City. And they just took one of those hidden packages, embiggened it by a lot, and stuck it on the side of this building. And of course, having just platinumed Vice City a couple of months, well, having just gotten all the hidden packages a couple of months ago, I was like, hey, that's a hidden package. So I took a picture. It's pretty funky. Las Venturas Airport, I had to take one trip at the airport in this entire game, because I know you don't have to. You can get a plane or drive or do whatever you want, and that's what I did most of the time. But this one time I said, look, I need to get to Los Santos, and it won't take that long to drive there, but I'm at the airport now. I might as well go in there and take a flight, you know, just to see it again, because I haven't seen it in over 10 years. And it's kind of cool, I guess. You know, you get in the plane and it shows the plane taking off, and then after a little while, I was like, okay, I'm going to skip this. But I just wanted to do that, and I like the lights here. Again, the pink and the blue is very Vice, very beautiful. I like it. Little Probin. This is one thing I did remember. This is actually this is based on a real little pub or tavern in Las Vegas, and I don't know what it's called, but it's obviously banking on the tourism of Area 51, and this in the game, this is actually on the road that leads to Area 69, and I do remember it because I went up that road quite a bit, and you don't really forget like a little alien inn like this, you know, with a UFO and stuff. So I had to take a picture of that. It looked pretty cool. Of course, the airstrip. Now, we saw a picture of the airstrip earlier, like, looking the other way at nighttime. This is it during the day, just to remind everyone. And it like, this looks quite a bit... One thing that's really struck me with this game, I know GTA 5 is kind of like a spiritual successor to San Andreas, because, you know, it's set in Los Santos and the surrounding countryside. But there was a lot of times when I was playing San Andreas, and I was like, I recognize these places, not from this game, but from GTA 5. And when I got here, I was like, I saw the tower, control room and everything, and I was like, man, I'm really getting Sandy Shores Airfield vibes from this place. And it was pretty cool. And obviously, that building on the right is a garage. You can park some cars there, and just out the front of it, or just to the side of it rather, in front of that water tower, is where the jetpack goes when you do the mission where you break into Area 69 and steal a jetpack, which is obviously very good and very handy for getting all the horseshoes, because some of the horseshoes are pretty hard to get to. So the jetpack is very useful. As soon as I got the jetpack, I got all the horseshoes. So here's all the vehicles you can get. In the far hangar on the left, that's where the Hydra goes. You can't see it, obviously. This might have been before I got the Hydra. In fact, yes, it was. This is before I got the Hydra, because you get the Hydra when you do a mission for Torino. These three vehicles were the rewards for getting all gold on the flying school. I believe the plane on the left, the sort of Spitfire-looking thing, I think that was the bronze prize. Then there's the stunt plane as the silver prize, which is crazy, like, agile. And then, of course, the Hunter, the Apache helicopter. That's what I used, like I did in when I was doing GTA San Andreas and GTA 3. Well, in GTA 3, when you're doing the paramedic missions and police missions and firefighting missions, you have to do each of those on each of the 3 islands. I forgot about that when I went back to play GTA 3. In Vice City, it's just, okay, here's a taxi, do some missions. Here's a paramedic ambulance, do some missions. Here's a cop car, do some missions. Doesn't matter where you do them. You just have to reach level 12 and complete them. So I did those fairly early on in those games. In this game, I saved the vigilante missions until I got the helicopter, because I know that when you get in the helicopter and trigger vigilante, it says Brown Thunder, because that's what they call it when you're in the chopper. And then you can just do the vigilante missions, which are normally really hard, because you have to kill criminals, and you can't fix your cop car, and you have to try and get your cop car to survive the 12 levels, and it's really hard. Not hard when you use an attack chopper, I can tell you that. It's really fucking easy. Of course, the downside is you have to get most of the way through the game, but it's super easy if you get the chopper. Ah, yes, here we go. The the interior of the Four Dragons Casino. So this is something, I don't know about you guys, but I've seen a lot, because I would save it outside. I would run down to those tables, behind those slot machines down there, and I would play some roulette. I was going to say blackjack, but that's, well, I would play a little bit of blackjack, but when I wanted to make the money, I would go to roulette, and I'd be like, okay, max bet on black. And then you've got just slightly less than a 50-50 chance of winning. So, and there's a save point outside, so it's no big deal. One thing I totally forgot, did you guys remember this? We all remember that there's stats in this game. CJ has stats, you know, fat, muscle, sex appeal, all that business. But did you know he's got a gambling stat? Maybe you did. I forgot. So, of course, I came here, and I just thought, boom. All I remember doing in the casino was going up to a roulette table, placing the max bet, which is $1 million, on black or red, whatever, And then if I won, I'd go and save it, and if I lost, I'd reload it, and I would just keep doing that. I tried to do that as soon as I got to the Four Dragons Casino, and I couldn't play it at the $1 million table, because it goes, your skill ain't high enough, and I was like, what? Oh my god, I forgot about this! So of course you got to start off at like the $100 tables, and you got to like win a few there to get your gambling skill up, but once your skill's up to maximum, then you can just go and gamble at the $1 million tables. This is the kind of nostalgia I was talking about. Like, this is just playing this game. Once I got out of Los Santos, it was basically a nostalgia trip, because I hadn't seen any of outside of Los Santos in over 10 years, and it was just madness. And especially getting to Las Venturas, it just felt like, it almost felt new. It had been that long since I'd seen it all. But a lot of the stuff, I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. And there was other stuff, though I was like, I don't remember this. It's crazy. Buddha with a slot machine. I don't think it works, and I don't think you can do anything with it, but it was a cool centerpiece, so I took a picture. Ah yes, Victim. Yeah, I totally forgot about this as well. Victim and Didier Sacks, they don't open up until you get to certain points in the story, and I forgot about that. I thought they were open from the beginning. So Victim opens up when you get to Las Venturas, and then D-Sacks opens up when you get back to Los Santos. The whole game goes full circle. You go around the map and end up back at Los Santos. And that's when D-Sacks opens up, and that's when you can buy the most expensive clothes and stuff. So I took a picture in Victim, because I thought, that's kind of funky, and who knows when I'll see this again. And then I dressed him up in some stuff. I tried to make him look like he was wearing a black suit, because I was doing missions for Woodsy at the time, and he was wearing a black suit, and his men were wearing a black suit, and I was like, look, I'm a shareholder in this casino, I'll wear a black suit too. Had to wear the green tint glasses, because, once again, Grove Street for life, you know, gotta represent. This was a picture I took when it started, when there was riots starting in Los Santos. Because like I say, I totally forgot riots were even a thing. There was plumes of smoke everywhere. Cars would just explode at random when you drove past them. You had to be really, really careful when you're doing a couple of missions with Sweet, to not just be driving along and then just drive past a car as it randomly explodes and fails the mission for you because you're both dead. But yeah, the riot was cool. I wanted to save a separate save slot when the city was rioting, because I know once you finish the game, the riot stops. So I thought, I want to have a save point, a separate save for when the city is rioting, so that if I did download the game again and want to play it again, I could experience the riot again. But I couldn't, because there wasn't enough space on the fake memory card that the game uses. Because I had so many pictures, I just couldn't have a second save file. So I took pictures instead. The inside of Zero's the inside of Zero's RC shop. We all know Zero. Everyone hates the missions where you're flying his choppers and planes and whatever. Now, one of the missions that everyone seems to hate is the one where you're flying his RC plane. And you've got to... And I forgot, like... I remembered Zero was in the game, but I forgot the specifics of his missions until I played it again. Voiced by the awesome David Cross, of course. And one of his missions is you have to fly the Red Baron, and you've got to fly over delivery vans and delivery motorcycles of his rival. I can't remember his rival's name. Oh, Berkeley, yeah. You have to drive over the delivery supply lines of his rival, Berkeley, and destroy them, drop bombs on them. Or, no, I was firing a machine gun out of the front of the plane. And I can see why people would have trouble with it. Like, it's not the easiest thing to control, but I was able to do that one first time. What I didn't do first time was the following mission, which took, like, so many tries. It was really hard. You're on the roof, and I think it's Zero's last mission. You're on the roof of his building, and... Is it the last mission? No, because the last mission is where you do... where he's having, like, a little, like, toy battle with Berkeley. Do you remember? Where you have to fly the chopper, and Zero's driving the RC car along this track, and you, with the chopper, have to pick up planks and put them down in front of the RC car, and pick up barrels and drop them on the tanks and stuff. Totally forgot about all that. That mission is not hard. The one before that, though, is where you're on the roof, and Berkeley's coming with loads of Red Barons. Like, he sends them, like, in groups. Sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 5. They just come at you in waves, and you've got a mounted minigun, and you can't move. And it's really hard to shoot them all down, because as soon as you hit the trigger, the crosshair just jumps all over the place, because it's a minigun, and it's just like... and you can hardly control it. So when you're trying to shoot down these planes, they're like tiny remote-controlled planes coming at you from a distance, before they can blow up all of the antennas, it is not easy. That is a mission I had trouble with. But I did it, because I'm hardcore. So there's Zero's RC shop. Had to snap a picture of this, because, I mean, that's just picturesque. I didn't even... Look, and there's a plane there, just to the left of where it says welcome. Beautiful. Welcome to fabulous Las Venturas. That was just a beautiful sight. I think that was when I that was when I finished my last mission at the airstrip, and I went into Las Venturas. Not Las Venturas for the first time, but I think this was when I went into Las Venturas to do missions, and I was going along that freeway from the countryside to the east, the west of Las Venturas, heading into Las Venturas along the freeway, and I saw this sign with the purple sky and everything, and I thought, that's beautiful. So beautiful, in fact, that the final picture is basically the same thing, just from a different angle, taken at a different time, because it was just beautiful. Peckers, get it? Peckers feed and seed. That chicken head was going up and down like one of those birds that, like, you know, drinks the water. Like Homer used it to press the Y key on his keyboard when he was working at home. Yeah, it was doing that, and I was like, I'm gonna take a picture of that again. Purple sky, so you know it's near Las Venturas. Kent Paul and Macca, right? I love Kent Paul because he is like the ultimate shut your mouth, wolf. Like that sort of accent. Like that's not his voice, obviously, but he's like, oh Macca, you can't. Like he's got that accent, and voiced by Danny Dyer, famously has that accent. And I mean, look at that model. Look at that texture for Kent Paul. It's not good. But I had to take a picture because Kent Paul, he was memorable in Vice City and kind of memorable in this. I don't like Macca though. Don't like him. Voiced by that guy. Oh, he's also well famous. What's his fucking name? Oh, the lead singer of the Pogues or something? I've never liked the Pogues. I've never liked the band he's in. I don't really care for him. I don't like his voice. And I don't like the character that they cast him as, Macca. He keeps jacking off. At one point in a cutscene, he's jacking off to Margaret Thatcher. Yay, jokes. So he's just an unpleasant character when he's on screen, and I don't like him. But Kent Paul, though. Kent Paul's pretty cool, so it kind of balances out. Wedding Chapel. I had to take a picture of Wedding Chapel because, you know, it's Las Venturas. Wedding Chapel. Like Ross and Rachel got married at a Las Vegas wedding chapel. It's just a thing people do sometimes. So I was like, whatever, Wedding Chapel. It's kind of like a staple of Vegas, isn't it? So I thought, take a picture of that. And I think that's not a bad shot as well with the sign right there. The composition's pretty good. Not bad. Giant chainsaw dildo penis. So I forgot, okay, that this whole place was a thing. So there's 6 girlfriends, and none of them are required for the 100% complete stat, but I got to 100% progress with all 6 girlfriends because they each give you a reward, and I thought, you know, I want all these rewards. So when you get to max level with Denise, the first girlfriend, and she is meeting her is required, but getting her to 100% is not, because you meet her in the story. But if you get her to 100%, she gives you the pimp suit that I had earlier, and there's other outfits from other girlfriends. But the other girlfriend you meet during the story, is it Millie? I think it's Millie. Millie Perkins. She works at Caligula's Casino, and you plan on pulling off a heist at Caligula's Casino, which I totally forgot about. And you got to date her to get into her house to get the key card from her, to allow you access to the back rooms of the casino. So of course you have to follow her after she leaves work, and when she leaves work she goes to this sex shop, which I 100% forgot was in this game. And the very first thing I noticed was a giant chainsaw penis on the ceiling. There's also Hamster Love 2, The Passage of Passion. This is classic Rockstar jokes, man. Hamster Love 2, The Passage of Passion. Rent that on video. Granny Grabber 10. I can't read the rest of that stuff. Wait, something up on your gran. Double up on... Hang on, wait, there we go. Watch as top paramilitary. I don't know what that says, but watch as top something double up on your gran. That's wrong. And then to the right, look, Candy Sucks, it says. The porn star from Vice City, and also from that big sign we saw. Candy Sucks returns, and that can't be legal. And then look, and on the left, look, there she is again. Candy Sucks. Got building that universe is what Rockstar were doing. Building the universe. There's the Gimp. He's just known as the Gimp. He goes to meet Millie because, in case you haven't figured it out already, Millie's into some stuff, and she loves it. So the idea is you're supposed to go there. You kill the Gimp as he's approaching her house, as he is now, and then you go into her house dressed in the Gimp suit, because this is the weird part about Millie Perkins, she has no 100% reward. Each girlfriend has 2 rewards. When you get them to 50%, they give you the keys to their car, And for some people, that's cool. So, like, Denise gives you a Hustler, which is a fairly unique car. I only ever saw it in some car parks in Las Venturas and outside of her house. The Barbara, no, not Barbara. I can't remember her name, but one of the girlfriends in San Fierro, she, when you get to 50%, she gives you keys to her monster truck, which is outside her garage. But Millie here, her car is a club, which is basically a Golf GTI. And at this late stage in the game, I was like, why would I want that? So I don't care about getting to 50% with her, and there's no need to get to 100% with her, because with girlfriends, like I say, when you get to 100%, they give you an outfit. Her outfit was the Gimp suit, which they give you when you go into this sex shop here. You follow her in, and then you get a Gimp suit. And then you go here, you kill the Gimp, and then you show up at her house wearing the Gimp suit, you start dating her. And I was reading up about it. I was like, so do I need to get to 100% with her if I've already got the outfit? And it turns out no, right? And you don't even need to date her to get the key card. So what I did was I took her out on a date. I was like, hey, let's go for a date. And she was like, hi. And you can't see it, but right now we are like at the northernmost part of the map. Like just to the right here, that's a cliff edge and the ocean is there. And I shot the fuck out of her. She took a lot of capping actually, probably because she's like a semi-important character, being one of your girlfriends and everything, so they give her extra health. But I killed her. Because it turns out you don't need to get to 100%, like I say, and you don't even need to date her properly to get the keycard, because when you kill her, you get a phone call from Woozy saying, how's it going with her? And then CJ's like, oh man, I killed her. And then Woozy's like, oh, that's too bad. Well, at least now you've got keys to her apartment or whatever, you can go in and get the card. And you do. So you go to her house, and this is the inside of her house. Like, the whole of it. This is the inside of her house. Right behind me is just a wall. So it's a BDSM dungeon. There's no other way around it. It is straight up a BDSM dungeon. You show up in a Gimp mask, and some kinky sex goes on, unless you kill her, like I did. So there we go. There's that. That was a whole thing I forgot. Didn't remember any of this was in the game. None of this. Didn't remember the sex shop, or the Gimp suit, or her, or the sex dungeon. Didn't remember any of that, mate. If you guys haven't played San Andreas in a long time, you should go play it. Again, just another lovely shot of the sun apparently going supernova, about to destroy the Earth, but it looked good, so I said, I'm gonna tape a picture of that. That's right, tape a picture of that. Caligula's, I had to take a picture of that. All of those, like, it sparkles all over, and I don't know why I just said that, because it's clearly not sparkles. It's got lights that light up all over, but they look like sparkles, and I mean, as you can see, you can see where the bulbs are on the image, but the light isn't coming from the bulbs, as you can see. But whatever, it's meant to be flashing bulbs and stuff. So I took a picture of that, because it's pretty cool. And plus it reminds me of the name of the casino I robbed. What's his fucking name? Ken Rosenberg. I was like, oh my god, why can't I remember his name? Rosie. Ken Rosenberg. Of course, he was in, played a fairly big part in Vice City. And of course, in this game, he's all manic depressive, and he's all weird and worried and concerned, and then he just starts doing cocaine again, because he hasn't been on it for like 10 years. A few years. He starts doing cocaine again, and then he's like, in fact, I think he does at one point say, I'm back, baby, after he does this fat line of cocaine, mate. He's a pretty funny character. And yeah, he's basically the same guy he was in Vice City, but sort of more confident. He's still kind of meek, but he has, once he does the coke, he's got more confidence. Brilliant. I had to get a picture of Rosie, because I was actually on a mission with him, and I was like, oh my god, I've got an opportunity to take a picture with him. Let's do it. This was the, abattoir, clearly, where that was it. Me and Ken Rosenberg were going to go meet up with Johnny Sindacco, who was the guy that I had tied to the front of my bonnet, because the Sindacco family were trying to squeeze money out of Woodsy, because he just set up a new casino, and the Mafia in Las Venturas didn't like it. They were like, look, we're not just going to have you muscling in on our territory, so you're going to give us commissions. Like, you're going to have to pay us money for the privilege of being in Las Venturas. And Woodsy said, fuck that. I'm not going to be pushed around by these guys. I've got a Carl Johnson. So, let's do stuff. So I basically found one of the guys from the Sindacco family, tied him to the front of my car, scared the ever-living shit out of him until he told us what family he was from, and then we let him go. Or did I? Did I crash the car? I can't remember, but he ended up in hospital, I know that. And then you go here to, for some reason... Oh, yeah, it gets complicated, because you're working for Ken Rosenberg, who is working for Salvatore Leone, who is part owner of Caligula's casino, and the reason why you're doing that is because you want to get all the inside information to help Woodsy rob the Caligula's casino. So you're going with Ken to this abattoir, and you meet Johnny Sendacco, the guy who you hospitalized, and he's there in a wheelchair, in that rusty-ass wheelchair I showed you right at the beginning. And it's so brilliant, because he's there just like, he sees Ken Rosenberg, and Ken's all like shy and meek, and he's like, oh, you know, Johnny, I was just hoping like, I don't know, maybe we could talk, you know? And of course, Johnny's got his goons, and he's like, "Hey, what is this guy? Some sort of clown?" And they all start laughing. And then CJ, just calm and casual, just steps out from behind Ken Rosenberg, and he's like, "Hey, yo, Johnny, what's up?" And then Johnny he sees CJ, and he's like, "That's the guy. And then he has a heart attack and dies in his wheelchair. It's so funny, just from seeing CJ. And then all hell breaks loose, and then obviously I had to kill a load of motherfuckers. So that's what this picture was for. It reminds me of that whole scenario, and this one. But it reminds me of that whole scenario. Yes, I was breaking into Area 69. It's incredibly easy. I had a sniper rifle, of course, so I was just picking off people. There's a lot of guards in here, but if you take your time, and you get up in a tower like I did, I think they said you can shoot out 2 spotlights, any more, and they start to get suspicious. So I shot out 2. That one in the middle that you can see, and the tower I'm still on right now. Shot out those 2, and then I just shot all the other guys, and that red bit on the right is where you have to go to open the doors to get into the base, because you have to go there to steal... Not that. Okay, I'll get to it later. So yeah, when you're in Area 69, I saw this, and I went... Like, when I was younger and I played this, like in 2005 or whatever, I wouldn't have known what that was. But... I've played Metal Gear Solid 5, and I've seen what a nuke looks like, and that's a nuke. In Area 69. I saw that, and I was like, that's a fucking nuke. Snap. I gotta take a picture. And of course, you've already seen this now, because I spoiled it just now. That's Pulaski. This is after you kill him, obviously. Doing that mission, it was one of those annoying missions where you can't actually catch them until you get to a certain point. It's just a chase them and listen to them talk. And he said some crazy shit about Carl's sister. Basically, as CJ said, you were asshole to the end. Because he was an asshole to the end. There's the jetpack. Yes, I took this picture in Area 69. This is the room where you find it. You go down all these stairs, killing people, using your M4, which was nice and easy because I had maximum M4 skill, of course. Killed all these fools, grabbed it, flew out. Nice, job done. Beautiful jetpack, excellent, worth it. And the final picture, again, I told you there was going to be another picture like this. Entering Los Santos, I believe it's the same sign as I took a picture at earlier. But I came over this hill. I wasn't on the road this time. I came over this hill, and I just saw the purple skyline with the buildings in the background and the Welcome to Las Venturas sign, and I was like, that's a nice picture. Again, composition, quite nice. So I took a picture of it, and I was like, boom, there we go. And that is it. Really? That's all these pictures. So, I'll keep them. I was gonna delete them, but you know what? I'll keep them. So yeah, thanks for that. How long has this video been going for? An hour. Excellent. That's about perfect. So thanks guys for watching this video and listening to me bang on about this craziness. And I'm surprised that song hasn't finished actually, because I downloaded an hour of this song. Yeah, so it's an hour long. Okay, yeah, so I must have been talking for a few seconds beforehand. Before I started the music. In fact, I was. So look at that. How is that for just good timing, mate? I downloaded an hour of that song, and now, ooh, Infinite Mirror, ooh. And now here we are. That's the end of the music. Thanks a lot, guys, and, you know, like, subscribe, and comment, and everything, and I stream on Twitch and all that jazz, so you know what to do. Peace. And play GT San Andreas if you haven't played it for a long time, Greece.